So you're wondering what to do with all of that dollar power these days and want to make our high-flying loony work for you? Well, let's say hello to Nick Bontis from the DeGroote School of Business at Mac and see what he might suggest. Hi, Nick.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. First of all, what's behind this latest increase from your perspective?
Well, of course, it's not so much that we're doing anything amazing, but that the Americans are doing so poorly. The jobs report was well below estimates in the U.S., so that means that next week, the Federal Reserve Chair Ben Bernanke is going to cut interest rates almost 100% for sure. And when you cut interest rates, global investors move out of the American currency, and many of them will jump into the Canadian currency. So, of course, that's what's driving the price of the Canadian dollar up. And here in the domestic market, we have three things that are going on. I call it the 987. We have $9 wheat, $80 oil, and $700 gold. So when you put the 987 combination together, that means we have strong resources. Our currency will keep on going up.
So, Nick, are consumers, you and me, if you will, out there, seeing any benefit in the cost of goods and services with this advanced dollar?
Yeah, I mean, in academic terms, this is called currency arbitrage. It's when you look for opportunities when one is valued versus another. Some people call this the McDonald pricing effect, when you compare what a Big Mac here is in, Hamilton versus how much a Big Mac costs in Cairo or in London or in Tokyo. But I'll give you a very simple example of how consumers are benefiting. Automobile purchases. The discrepancy in pricing is massive between purchasing the same vehicle here in Ontario versus just purchasing it in Buffalo, New York State. A perfect example would be a brand new, let's say, Lincoln Navigator SUV. The purchase price in Buffalo right now is about $48,000 US. That same vehicle here in Canada costs $81,000 Canadian. Wow. Even with the currency exchange, even with the cost of coordinating with the Ministry of Transport, even with the cost of adding daytime running lights, which is the only thing you would need to bring it over the border, you would still be pocketing between $15,000 and $20,000 in your pocket. So people are making money that way.
Doesn't sound right somehow, but that's the way it is. I know that to be true. Looking at the long-term trend, Nick, how can we make this higher dollar work for us, the average consumer?
Well, I think as Canadians, we got to remember that right now it's the resources here in Canada that are propping up our Canadian dollar. And the resources, unfortunately, they're not going to last forever. We have to understand that we're moving towards a knowledge-based economy. And when you have knowledge workers, they have to be productive. And the bottom line is, as Canadians, generally, we are still not as productive as our American counterparts. Productivity rates shot up 0.2% in the last quarter here in Canada. They shot up 0.9% in the U.S. So we have to still be more efficient as businesses. And I'm going to make a prediction today. Actually, I think that our resources are going to stay strong, our productivity is going to probably go up, and I have a feeling that for the next federal government election, pegging the Canadian dollar to the U.S. dollar is going to be one of the #1 platform election issues.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that and see if that indeed does happen. I guess the other thing you might want to do is buy a bunch of American money now so we can take a vacation later, because you know it's not going to stay this way.
Yeah.
Nick Bontis, thank you for this information today. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye.